One of the greatest achievements you can have in any Bethesda RPG is opening up your map and looking at all the icons you've discovered, explored, and cleared out. Just look how much of the world you've conquered. Thing is, not all interesting places have an icon to go by. How do you know you haven't missed some? So today, I will be listing 5 unmarked locations in Fallout 4. Let's get into it. Starting off with number 5, we have the Hoarders Apartment. This can be found up above on the rooftops between Pickman Gallery and Cabot House. And when you walk in, it's just a single room that is filled with junk. There's miscellaneous items all over the place, from bowling pins to toy rocket ships to fuel tanks. These are all telling signs of a pathological hoarder. Now, in a world of nuclear apocalypse, it actually does make sense to hoard as many items as you can, maybe increase your chance of survival. But in this case, sense is not what we're looking at. See, if you listen to the holotape located on the TV stand, you're going to learn that this apartment was owned by an older woman named Gemma, who is absolutely bonkers. When being asked very simple questions by her daughter-in-law, she responds with just these random non sequiturs that are completely unrelated. So it seems all of this hoarding, it was not a result of being survival savvy, but instead being insane. Number 4, we have the Malden Drainage. This can be found just north of the Taffington Boathouse. Now, when you go inside, there are blood bugs hanging off the walls, as well as 2 leveled trunks, a bunch of drugs, and a fusion core, all of which you can loot. But what's most interesting about this location is on the corpse of a man named Russell Sutton, you can find a holotape dating to pre-war times, and it's called the Pledge Initiation Instructions. And when you listen to it, one of the members of a secret fraternity talks about the upcoming initiation for new people looking to join the group. What does it involve? Blindfolding them, bringing them to this drainage, and having them take questionable amounts of drugs.
You can find the substances necessary to open their minds in the drainage. As you all remember from your own initiation.
Now, hundreds of years later, this man, Russell Sutton, has discovered the location of these drugs that had been left over from that time, but he was unfortunately blown up by mines in recovery of them. Number 3, we have the Cottage, that's all it's called, and it can be found just north of the Old North Church. So when you go inside, it's just a 1-story apartment, and in the corner, a raider and a cat. That's it. And he's perfectly content just watching his friend lying there happily. Now, what's so sad about this encounter is that there's so many different interpretations as to what this could mean. Maybe this man is tired of killing people and just wants to spend the rest of his days in peace, surrounded by friends, surrounded by pets. Maybe him and his parents used to own a cat when he was a boy, and this reminds him of his childhood before he ever became a raider. There's a lot of ideas to throw around, but perhaps the saddest of all is that after killing him, the cat just seemed unaffected. It didn't really mind. It just got up to grab some water. It seems this friendship was one-sided all along. Number 2, we have the Abandoned House, and this can be found just south of Bunker Hill. This is just a small 3-story house with 3 separate holotapes inside, and when you listen to them, they tell just an incredible story. A woman, a Ms. Research Assistant Peters, 8 months before the war began, actually catalogs her experiences undergoing heavy radiation exposure, and she volunteered for it. But why she did this, you see, was to test out a new serum on herself that would hopefully cure this very thing. So, as you listen to the holotapes, she becomes increasingly sick, and then she does finally take the serum.
I understand. I'm going to die. That's obvious.
But the thing is, it's completely ineffective. Her transformation now it's incurable. And so now, hundreds of years later, when you get to the top floor, that bloated, glowing ghoul that attacks you is all that remains of Research Assistant Peters. And number 1, we have the Sleepwalkers Place. This can be found just south of Andrews Station. You take the elevator up to the top of the bridge, and you'll find a nice, cozy little setup. And it's here that you'll learn of a man who thought it was a good idea to set up camp on the top of an abandoned bridge. Actually, it is high up. Wandering creatures aren't going to get you. Raiders won't search up there for fear of falling off. And you have an outstanding view every time you look outside. Problem is, this man admits that he has a very bad history with sleepwalking. And if he does have a future downfall, it's the fall down. So he was just too careless to put up a fence on the edge of the bridge, just a few feet from where he sleeps. So if you look down and then jump off, sure enough, the sleepwalker's body can be found on the bridge below. See, it was kismet from the very beginning. Or it was the cat who pushed him off. I don't trust that thing. And there you have it, 5 unmarked locations in Fallout 4. If you enjoyed the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And down below, please tell me, is there another location that you would add to this list? Alright, thank you very much for watching, and actually if you need me, I'll be at the Sleepwalkers Place. I don't snore, I don't sleepwalk, so it's a pretty sweet deal for me.